I have a hard rule I set for myself when it comes to dating, where I have to know by the 4th date if the guy I'm interested in either wants kids or doesn't, because I don't want kids. And I don't want to waste his time, I don't want to waste mine, and in the end, it just wouldn't work out anyways. So I was on a 2nd date with a guy, and he said it himself that he wanted 2 kids. And I said, well, thank you so much for telling me that. I think that is awesome. However, I am not the girl you want to continue to see because I don't want kids at all. And he said, oh, well, I don't want kids right now. It's not something I'm thinking about. And I said, well, I don't want kids ever. They're not in my life plan, and I don't ever plan on changing my mind. And he said, well, you know, maybe I'm kind of on the fence about kids too. And I said, but you just said a couple minutes ago that you wanted 2 kids. And it kind of became this thing where I was trying to convince or tell this guy that I've only known for a very short period of time that he in fact did say that he wants 2 kids. And it just kind of became this weird thing. It ended fine. And with those kind of instances, you're either going to be friends or you're not. Usually it's the latter, and that's just the way it works out, and that's fine.
If you are a woman who dates men and you do not want children, you are absolutely 100% positive. You need to date a man who is also 100% passionately. Again.
Thank you for bringing this up. Now, one thing I have known about myself for my entire life is I wanted to be a mother. I've always known that if I am able to, I do not just want 1 child, I want minimum 3, max 4. I wanted a decent amount, and I wanted them close in age. My whole life, I have always known this about myself. I've actually been so excited about being a mother. I've honestly thought about it more than being someone's lifelong partner. Not necessarily aiming to be like a baby mother or whatever, but I've just always been so more excited about kids than I have partnership. That being said, everyone has negotiable things in relationships, things they're willing to negotiate, things they're willing to compromise on, whatever. But one thing I am not willing to compromise on with my lifelong partner is children. There's certain things in a partnership and a relationship that you can compromise on. You compromise on where you want to live, what kind of car you want, things like that. You cannot and should not be compromising on whether or not you are really willing to bring life into this world or take care of a life. Like, let's just say I'm with a guy who does not want kids, would never do this, but let's just say, right? Let's say that I'm really aiming and like pushing to have children that he clearly does not want. 3 things can happen. 1, the most best option, we stop being together. 2, we just end up never having the kids because he doesn't budge. I'm not gonna like force the kids on him. Or 3, honestly, possibly the worst case scenario, we have those kids. Now, from that 3rd option I just gave, 2 things can happen. 1, my partner could end up maybe not being so against having kids, even though we already had them, so it wouldn't have mattered at that point, and ends up loving being a parent, and it's fine. Or 2, even if it's not on purpose, they could grow up to resent those children.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. I'm so sorry, I was so busy yesterday, so I couldn't show up yesterday. Okay, I have this very interesting story for us to talk about today. And this story has to do with a child-free woman. She's actually 50 years old. So she came online to ask for an advice. So she is considering dating a man that has kids, a man within her age bracket, but the man has kids, but she doesn't want to date someone that has younger kids. She's considering dating a man that has older kids. So she was confused. So she went to have a conversation with her therapist. Her therapist called her closed-minded and rigid because she said that she should be more open to dating men with kids, whether the kids are younger or older. But this lady is still confused because she had to think about being a grandma, because if you date a man that has kids, eventually those children might have babies in the future, and then she will end up being a grandma. It's definitely going to be an awkward situation if she's not part of the family and refuses to be a grandma or refuses to be around kids. It's definitely going to be an awkward situation. So she came online to ask the people online for an advice. What do you think? Let's get right into the story and read it in details. I am 50 years old and child-free by choice. Hooray! I'm also single and want to date, but the majority of single men my age have children. I have zero desire to date anyone with young children because I don't want to be a stepmom who is to be involved in child rearing. I had considered dating men with adult children, but then there is the issue of possible step grandchildren one day, and again, I don't wish to be involved in rearing them either. I don't know anybody with kids who doesn't ask grandma and grandpa to babysit from time to time, and that would be a hard limit for me. My therapist says I'm being close-minded and rigid, that I should be open to dating men with young or adult children and or grandchildren, and just lay down my boundary of not wanting to be involved with them on that level. That seems unrealistic to me, as I can't see that people with their own family would accept a partner who isn't open to that. Opinions. Anyone dating someone who already has a family and who refuses to be involved with them, or who refuses to be involved in the children rearing / babysitting aspect? Thanks for all the inputs. For me, I think that advice doesn't make sense, because this lady is child free. Why should you be advising someone that is child free to date a man that has kids? What do you think the outcome of that relationship would be? Definitely at some point that lady will be forced to cater for those children, whether she likes it or not. I know initially she might say she doesn't want to do it, but that alone might be an issue in that relationship. You get? So I don't know what kind of therapist she is, because if she knows what she's doing, I don't think she would be advising someone that is child free to date a man that has kids. You get? So in the comment section, people were very pissed with the therapist. They said a whole lot about her. So I'll just go ahead and read for you guys what people are saying in the comment section about the therapist. Yeah, I second this. What the F? I would never let my therapist get away with saying this shit. They sound super unsupportive, and clearly they don't know what child free actually means. A true child free person would never date a parent. Just no. I recently switched therapists because my old one left the practice. One of the first questions I asked my new therapist was whether or not she had children. I don't mind having a therapist that has children. She's child free, of course, but I wanted to test the waters and make sure she wasn't going to be someone that would tell me I would change my mind about not wanting kids. Like I see often enough on this sub, I see it so much on here that I wanted to make sure she would support me in this. And not only does she support me, she's child free as well. So it's important for you to check your therapist, because it's very important, because this is someone you go to talk about your struggles and also take advice from. So it's important to make sure the person is on the same note as you are, the person is on the same page as you are, if you get what I mean. So if you are child free, I don't think getting a therapist that does not understand what it is to be child free, or someone that is not child free, might be that helpful. But of course you can get therapists that are not child free, but they understand what it is to be child free, and they don't have that tendency of trying to advise you to have a change of mind. You get? So you have to be very careful when it comes to the kind of therapist you have. Let's read the next comment. Child-free people don't date parents. Those are called step parents. I don't know what your therapist is on about, but it doesn't seem like she understands and respects your decision. So it's what we're considering if she's suitable to work as a therapist. I'd be super curious if she tells future parents or single parents the same thing though. Oh, you are close-minded and rigid. You should be open to dating someone who is sterilized and will never have kids. What do you mean? You won't date people who don't want you because you have kids? Just give the kids up for adoption. This is the lady making mockery of the therapist, saying the therapist could give such an advice to a single woman that has kids, and men are refusing to date her because she has kids, so she could easily advise the woman to give the kids up for adoption so she can date someone. So she will end up being child-free. No, she will end up being childless at that point, and then men can date her. So she's just making jest of the therapist. And then she went on to say, because it's never that way around, is it? It's always just us who should adjust and give up who we are and what we want. Funny how that works. Funny how it's understood that kids are an important deal breaker, but only one way. So this person is still hitting on the therapist. So let's read the next one. I don't know what your therapist is on about, but it doesn't seem like she understands and respects your decision. So it's worth reconsidering if she's suitable to work as a therapist. I strongly second this. Not only does she not seem to understand what being child-free is, but she also sounds painfully naive. Just set a boundary. It's almost certainly not going to work. If you find a man who says he won't try to make you raise his kids / babysit his grandkids, sooner or later it's extremely likely that something will go wrong and he will end up needing you to help out by looking after a kid just this once. Then you get the ever so fun choice of either watching someone you care about struggle and not helping, which will likely kill the relationship, or crossing your boundaries and knowing that now that it happened once, it's probably going to happen again and again until you give up and dump him. So for me here, I get this person's point. The best thing to do is just stay off people that have kids, because you cannot be with a man that has kids and set strict boundaries. It's not going to work. At some point, you might just break those rules and do what you didn't want to do in the first place, just to be safe, just to avoid issues and stories that touch in the future. Stick with a man that doesn't want kids, a man that doesn't have kids. Why would you be child-free and then you're going to date someone that has kids or that has grandchildren? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense. Okay guys, this is it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think a child-free woman should date a man that has kids, be it adult children or younger kids? What do you think? Do you think that's a good advice? I already said my own mind. It's not a good advice. Just keep off people that have children if you don't want to have kids. If you're child-free, keep off people that have children. Search thoroughly. You're definitely going to find someone that is child-free as well. It's just going to take some time. Yeah. Okay guys, this is my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please subscribe, support this channel, leave your comments, like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching and bye.